Hey everybody, great to see everybody today. This is a study guide video. So it's going to be open from 427 to 59. It's going to cover China, Tiananmen Square, the four modernizations, and Hong Kong. So a goal of the 1989 Tiananmen Square protests in China was to gain democratic reform. The people wanted democracy and they launched their protest. Next, China's economic growth and re-entry into the world economy was most directly the result of Deng Xiaoping's four modernizations. That's when China tried to increase their economic power with the four modernizations programs. You may be asked to read two documents on China, and the first document is going to be doing with the principles of the Constitution of the People's Republic of China. And the second section is going to be an excerpt of a memoir. And when you read those, definitely think, what is document 2 about? It says it's been not achieved and ultimately fostered inequality. And that was basically some of the problems with communism. Another section you're going to take a look at is this excerpt, and basically it's going to be talking about some of the experiences that people had in China. Very interesting. So take a look at that, and that would be the establishment of communism in China and the deep flaws that were a result of that. So many different things going on with that. Another thing, you're going to be looking at a political cartoon of Deng Xiaoping and his memorial, and it's going to show the goddess of democracy. Hello, Mr. Kelly. You want to say hi to the camera?
Hello to the camera.
We're making a study guide. That's Mr. Kelly. We're always working together. So the Deng Memorial, and you're going to see the goddess of democracy toppled over. And in the background, you're going to see the big square in China. And that would be the bloodshed of Tiananmen Square is represented by that. Next, East is red. The East is red, the sun is rising. China has brought forth a Mao Zedong. You'll take a look at that lyrics. And who is this point of view from? What group of people? It would be the Chinese Communists. Take it easy, Mr. Kelly. It would be the Chinese Communists. Next question. If you see the Great Leap Forward, the Cultural Revolution, and the four modernizations, all these policies are associated with China. They were all policies by the government to improve China. Once again, East is red, that poem talking about Chairman Mao. He is our guide. He'd help build a new China. That would be in reference to the Cultural Revolution in China. In 1989, the goal of the protest movement in Tiananmen Square, staged by the students, their goal was to bring democratic reforms to China. And we know the government crushed the democratic protesters. You may take a look at another political cartoon, and it's going to be coffins lined up, victims of hunger in Red China. And it's going to have a picture of Mao saying everybody gets their plot. This 1961 cartoon is going to talk and show some of the negative things from the Great Leap Forward, the great starvations in China of many people. So, Tiananmen Square protesters, what was their goal? They wanted democratic reforms, and the government is going to crush that protest. Now, the Jews during the Holocaust, Chinese students in Tiananmen Square, and the untouchables in India, what is similar of the way they were all treated? Human rights violations. Those people's human rights were violated. Another thing, the primary goal of student protests in Tiananmen Square was to increase political freedom and rights in China, and also bring democracy. What was the result of the four modernizations in China by Deng Xiaoping? One of the results was economic opportunities were expanded. Deng Xiaoping is going to promote capitalism in China to increase business. The Great Leap Forward and the four modernizations are similar is because they were attempts to increase factory output and farm output and boost the economy. In 89, the government of China responded to the Tiananmen Square protests by sending in tanks and troops to end the protests and kill everybody that was protesting or arrest them. It was a horrible massacre in 1989. That was the government's response. Hong Kong was returned to China in 1997, okay? And that was a big thing with Hong Kong. The British had kept it, but in 1997, they gave Hong Kong, the islands and the peninsula and the ports back to China. What nation had the greatest influence on the recent histories of Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Tibet? Well, it was China. China got Hong Kong back in 1997. Taiwan is where the democratic Chinese fled to and established their own democratic China after the Chinese Civil War, and Tibet was invaded and taken over by China. Next, remember, Tiananmen Square massacre in 1989. That was the government's restriction of freedom in China and a government crackdown on student protesters. And finally, you'll see a political cartoon that says, "Give me liberty or give me death." And you'll see a Chinese student dead on the ground. And over him, you'll see soldiers saying, "Well, we sort of gave into their demands." And this cartoon represents the peaceful protests may not succeed in a totalitarian society. That's the correct answer. And the government just shot the protesters. Okay, watch this video as many times as you can. Take the test on CAS Learning. Good luck.